All right, working our way down towards the nose. We'll work our way down from top to bottom, and then I'll go out towards the ears, and then I'll do the face, and then we'll do the hair last. But the nose isn't too difficult. Basically, to make the nose look like it's popping out from the face, you just need to make the sides of it, shade the sides of it. And then we're going to shade the underside of the front, okay? Because the tip of the nose, this is not the tip of the nose here. The tip of the nose is right here. So from this point down, it's curving under, okay? If we look at the side of the nose, okay, here's the tip right here. So you still see this from the front view, but that's going to be in shadow as it turns under. And then the bottoms of the nostrils are a little bit darker. So this is the brightest spot usually right at the tip of the nose here, and then down the center. Same thing. He doesn't have as much of a button nose. His is pretty even all the way down. But you can see the highlight down the center and all the way to the tip. And then right here is the tip where it starts to go under. And then what's interesting with his is there's a little bit of reflected light bouncing off. So the light is coming in, is bouncing off the area between his nose and his mouth, and it's backlighting this. You can see there's a little glow along the bottom, and then obviously the cast shadow underneath the outsides of the nostrils. So the edge of the nose, if there's like a little ball under the tip, in a sense, you have the edges of the nostrils, like right here, you can see that. So it's just going to be slightly darker there. And then the crease where the nose or nostrils attached to the face, there's going to be that little bit of darkness there as well. So let me go through that. I'll do at least one side. So again, these lines on the side of the face, you really need to try to get those to, lighten those up first. Okay, and initially you can go lightly, going up and down, but then you're also going to want to go in this direction, go in and out on the nose. And as that slopes outward, you're just going to fade that out. See, there can be a little bit of a shadow core there sometimes. Don't get too carried away with it. Because of the cartilage, there is sort of a bony edge, and so that slightly little bit of shadow core can kind of represent that bony edge, that cartilage, I should say, to the nose. And that kind of goes up into the eye socket there a little bit. Oh, and then also, let's see, it is not very pronounced on hers. Hers does not recess in a little bit, but his does. The bridge of the nose, right here, where, the bridge of, if you had glasses, sits right in here. Because the brows come outward and the nose is going outward, there's a slight indent right here. You don't really see it on her. She doesn't have much of an indent. But with the guy, there's just that slight bit of shading. Don't get too carried away. It's just very faint. Slight bit of shading, and we can make that pop out more when we start to shade the forehead and bring the brows out. Maybe that'll pop a little bit more. Okay, so we have the going down the side of the nose, both sides of the nose. You got a highlight in the center. Okay. Then you can see I even suggested where the edges of the tip of the nose are right here. Okay. So I've got that shading there. I'm going to shade the bottom of the nose. Might need to lighten that up a little bit. Shade around the outside of the tip. A kind of blurry line. I'm not pressing hard. Notice again my grip, so I'm not putting a lot of pressure on there. I can draw like a blurry line. And the whole sides of the nostrils are probably going to be slightly in shadow. Bottom of the nose underneath, about right here. Just shade over all of this lightly at first. I can pretty much cover the nostrils because they're not really lit up. They're going to be, and then we go just a little bit darker on the outside, and then if you darken this a little bit, it's going to make this area look darker in here by darkening that and darkening that. And again, blurry line. I'm not holding my pencil upright. I'm not making it real pronounced. And then maybe just a little bit of extra shading right there for the boniness of the tip of the nose, just a few blurred lines. And then the nostril opening, it's going to be very dark. It's going to be black like the pupil. but don't get too carried away. So I go dark right here like this. Let me look at what he looks like. He's got a lot more of a, she doesn't have a lot of darkness in there, okay, because the light, she's lit up pretty good. So there's a little bit of darkness right there and it fades out. And their noses, hers is more upturned, so you see more of her nostrils wrapping around here. His you don't see so much. It kind of ends right here, and then it's the nose is really casting a shadow. So everyone's a little bit different. But as you do that, really dark at the top, and then kind of fade that out. Dark here. Fade that out. Okay, yeah, and there might be, and then this might be a little bit, you know, darker as it comes around. And then there could be, you know, could be shadow underneath here. You know, that the nose, like on the guy, there's definitely a shadow underneath the nose. You just have to be careful about getting too carried away with that, because if you do that, you really have to balance it with other shading. And we'll talk more about that when we shade the rest of the face. But that's all I'm going to do for now. Maybe reinforce the tip of the nose here. Maybe, whoop, got a little too much. Maybe darken the shading along the bottom of the nose just to show that little bit of reflected light that was on the guy here. Oh. Okay, this is what I'm doing, getting in a hurry here. But hopefully you kind of get the idea. This really needs to be blended in a little bit more. The nostril will come in a little bit here too. Sometimes you might see it comes in just a little bit right here. There we go. All right, that all needs to be blended in better, but hopefully you kind of get the idea.